LR, the liberal redneck here, coming to you from a country that spends an insane amount of money on political campaigns. It is estimated that the midterm elections this year will break records with over $9 billion spent on campaigns. I know that I get at least 20 texts and emails a day asking for money. In 2020, a presidential election year, the amount topped $14 billion. In a 2-year period, a total of $23 billion was spent on print, television, radio, and social media ads trying to get a political victory. If you want to obtain or maintain political power in the United States of America, you better have or have access to some mighty deep pockets. For those who say far too much money is spent on political campaigns, one response is that more money is spent on potato chips. A Google search confirms that many have spent time contemplating the meaning of potato chip spending versus campaign spending. Maybe a compromise solution would be to have campaign advertising on potato chip packages. This generates a sort of happy response to critics who either claim the problem is campaign spending being too low or potato chip spending, estimated at $7 billion a year, too high. However, one study suggests potato chips already contain a kind of political advertising. Chip makers know what we want based on our social status, so they target their advertising to appeal to different class values, according to a new Stanford analysis of the marketing of a dozen different brands. Cheaper chips promote working class values of economy, tradition, and hominess, while high-priced chips promise an exotic and natural experience, discovered linguist Joshua Friedman and Dan Jarofsky. The red state and blue state models of our nation are written on the back of every bag of potato chips, concludes Professor Jarofsky. The project started with visits to grocery stores, where grad student Friedman photographed the language on potato chip bags and attracted the stares of puzzled employees. The popular view is that there is too much money in politics, and the candidates and elected politicians interested in re-election in the U.S. system have to constantly raise campaign funds. This is more a consequence of current federal election laws that limit donations to small amounts, as inflation has reduced the value of the dollar. Brad Smith suggests that sweeping away the accumulated layers of federal election laws and regulations would be more old policy than new policy. That is, it would return federal election law to what it had been from the founding to around the 1970s. Although there were a few earlier ineffective federal election laws. From the formation of exploratory committees until the inauguration of the next president, the American election frenzy lasts about 2 years, a vast majority of which is spent talking about little of substance. Along the way, the U.S. easily outspends every other country in the world, a trend that has only been accelerated by the gutting of restrictions on corporate contributions to campaigns in recent years. What's even worse is that the exceptional amount of time and money normally doesn't produce an engaging democratic process. The U.S. ranks near the bottom in terms of voter participation when compared with other developed nations. Issues like obstacles to voter registration and the ability to simply get to the polls without missing work contribute to strikingly low turnout in the world's most powerful democracy. Well, that low turnout crap has to end on November 8th, 2022. Do what you have to do to cast your vote in this crisis election. Celebrate your accomplishment with some tasty potato chips. You can reach me with questions, comments, or suggestions at theliberalredneck@gmail.com. And you can listen to all our podcasts at blogtalkradio.com/The Liberal Redneck. Thanks for watching.